July 10th, 1940. Dawn breaks over the English Channel as waves of German bombers darken the sky. Nazi pilots prepare to pummel Britain into submission through countless casualties. This is the Battle of Britain, the first Allied campaign in history, and the fate of Western civilization hangs on a few hundred pilots in outdated planes. But let's change one thing. Instead of a few hundred tin cans tearing through the sky at twice the speed of sound is something no one understands. A Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II dropped into a battle it was never supposed to be a part of. So, what happens when the most advanced fighter jet on Earth is unleashed during one of history's most pivotal air battles? Can it single-handedly save Britain from the Nazi war machine? Or is it just one flying computer against over 2,500 German aircraft? Well, this isn't your grandfather's Spitfire. The F-35 looks like it was designed by time-traveling engineers who really hate radar operators. Its angular stealth body gives it the radar signature of a Sparrow despite being 51 ft of pure technological dominance. Here's what this aerial assassin is packing. An APG-81 radar that can track a golf ball from 80 m away. AIM 120 AM RAM missiles that can delete enemy aircraft from 30+ miles away before the pilots even know death is coming. And AIM 9X sidewinders that can lock onto engine heat and pull 60 turns to chase down anything stupid enough to try running. On top of this, the F-35's brain is pure science fiction to 1940. It's got 6 infrared cameras that give the pilot 360 degrees vision. He can literally see through the floor of his own aircraft. The helmet-mounted display means wherever the pilot looks, the plane can shoot. It's pretty much like they're wearing a 15000 lb flying exoskeleton. Powered by a Pratt & Whitney engine pushing out 43,000 lb of thrust, this thing hits Mach 1.6, while the fastest German fighter maxes out at 370 mph. That's like racing a Formula One car against a bicycle. Oh, and it's invisible. Well, practically. The F-35's stealth coating and shape make it nearly undetectable to radar. In 1940, British chain-home radar operates at frequencies so primitive they'd struggle to spot this thing if it flew right above them. Well, until the shock wave hit. The internal 25 rotary cannon spits out shells the size of beer bottles at 3,300 rounds per minute. One trigger squeeze turns a messmate into confetti. But here's the thing. Hermann Göring's Luftwaffe isn't here to play games. They're bringing 4 massive air fleets with over 2550 aircraft. We're talking about the pilots who just conquered Poland, Norway, and France. The Lightning is a tough adversary, but these are the most experienced combat aviators on the planet, and there are over 2,500 of them. The Messrs Schmidt Bf-109 is their Ferrari. Fast, agile, armed with 20 cannons that can saw a Spitfire in half. Their bombers, Hankohe 1111s and Junkers U-88s, and those terrifying Stuka dive bombers have been perfecting the art of turning cities into rubble. The Germans have the numbers. Over 1,100 single-engine fighters alone, plus another 1,200 bombers. It's the largest aerial armada ever assembled for a single campaign. But they fight like it's 1940 because it is. This means visual targeting, primitive radar and radio communications that sound like someone's talking through a tin can and string. Their longest-range weapons might hit something 25 mi away if they pray for good luck. The F-35 can kill them from across the horizon. At 6:30 hours, the first wave launches from French airfields. 200 bombers escorted by 150 fighters heading straight for British radar stations. Standard Luwa doctrine. Blind the enemy, then pummel them. 50 mi away, the F-35's radar lights them up. The pilot sees every aircraft, their speed, altitude, even their formation pattern. The combat computer identifies targets, calculates intercept vectors, and suggests optimal engagement sequences. It's a nerd, even for a computer. The first AMRAM launches with a whoosh that sounds like tearing silk. The missile accelerates to Mach 4 while its onboard radar locks onto a Heinkel bomber that doesn't even know it's already dead. 20 seconds later, the bomber explodes. There's no warning, no enemy in sight, just sudden violent deletion. As far as the Germans know, their buddy was just smited by God. Still, 50 mi away, the lightning fires again and again and again. German formations start disintegrating. Bombers detonate mid-flight for no visible reason. Fighters spiral into the channel, their pilots never seeing what killed them. Radio channels erupt in panicked German. The escort fighters scatter, desperately searching for an enemy they can't see. Some dive for the deck. Others climb, thinking altitude equals safety. They're wrong on both counts. The F-35 pilot switches to sidewinders to chase the scattered fighters. Their infrared seekers don't care about clouds or sun glare. They just want that sweet, sweet engine heat. A Bf-109 pilot, frantically scanning the sky, never notices the missile until impact. His plane becomes a fireball, then debris. Within 10 minutes, 40 aircraft are gone. The survivors flee back to France, reporting impossible losses to an invisible enemy. German pilots, hardened veterans, are terrified. Goring, monitoring from his luxury train, goes ballistic. This has to be British propaganda. His pilots are seeing things. He orders the second wave immediately. 170 aircraft, including his best fighter squadrons. The F-35 has moved north, lurking at 45,000 FT, 15,000 higher than any German fighter can reach. The pilot watches the second wave forming up over Kalala on radar. He's got 12 AM rams left and a full load of cannon rounds. This time, he varies tactics, diving from altitude at near supersonic speed. The German fighters finally spot it. A strange angular shape moving impossibly fast. They try to intercept, but it's like trying to catch a bullet. The F-35 pilot fires and rams into the bomber formation's heart. U-88s disintegrate. Hank 1111s burst into flames. A Stuka's wing simply falls off. Any pilot who manages to get close enough to fire is met with the Lightning's afterburner, which allows it to climb vertically straight out of sight. Any German plane trying to follow would stall on the ascent. The psychological effect is devastating. Luftwaffe pilots who conquered Europe are being systematically hunted by something that breaks every rule of air combat they know. It's faster than them, climbs higher, sees further, and kills from distances they can't comprehend. By noon, the Luftwaffe has lost over 100 aircraft. The F-35 has taken 0 damage. But even a modern Marvel has one fatal limitation. It runs out of ammo like any other plane. The F-35 is down to its last 2 missiles and running lower on fuel. More importantly, it's operating in 1940. There's no GPS, no data link to friendly forces, and definitely no spare AIM-120s at local bases. The pilot switches to guns for the final Luftwaffe reconnaissance flight. And in a final hurrah, the 25 cannon turns 2 Dorner Do-17s into aluminum confetti. When the F-35 lands at Big and Hill RAF station, British ground crews stare like they've seen a UFO, which technically they have. The Luftwaffe has lost almost 150 aircraft in a single morning. Devastating, but Germany still has 2,400 more. The F-35 just burned through its entire weapons load to destroy 6% of the Luftwaffe. It's impressive, but not war-winning. The next morning, German bombers will return. And the morning after that. And the morning after that, the F-35 might fly again if they somehow jerry-rig compatible fuel, but without modern ammo, it would be pointless. The F-35's rampage might buy Britain a few crucial days. RAF pilots would get a breather to regroup while German pilots are rattled, looking over their shoulders for invisible death. But the Battle of Britain continues for months, ultimately won by brave pilots and Spitfires and Hurricanes, not by our modern miracle. So, could a modern jet really change the timeline of World War II at the Battle of Britain? Not really. But for one glorious morning, Lua get a taste of what it's like to be completely, utterly outclassed. The myth of the ghost of Britain would spread through both militaries, inflating with each retelling. While the F-35 didn't win the Battle of Britain, it sure as hell made it interesting. Or what do you think would happen? And if you're curious what would happen if a modern helicopter fought at D-Day, Check out the video on screen now.